Foundations are pretty important. Ask any structural engineer, ask any cosmetic artist, ask any religious organization or group. You can even ask God, who was the first person to ever lay a foundation. In fact, God laid the foundation for every relationship in the Bible, and I'm not just talking about one man, one woman. And because we've ignored the foundation, this is why we're seeing a lot of these relationships be destroyed. So I want to give you some examples of what I'm talking about. We often hear about wives submitting to their husbands, and this is a biblical fact. However, the biblical foundation for this relationship calls the husband, who is the leader, to love their wife like Christ loved the church. I've never met a woman who didn't willfully want to submit to a husband who sacrificed for her, who pursued her, who protected her, who nurtured her, who provided for her, and not just monetarily. Yes, children should honor their adult parents. This is biblical. However, the foundation of this relationship calls the parents, as the leader, to set the foundation of not being abusive with their authority and living a life that's worthy to receive honor. I've never met a child who willfully didn't want to give their parent honor when they practiced what they preach, when they were respectful and kind, when they led with love, when they brought them up in sound biblical teaching and not just man-made tradition. Yes, servants should serve as unto the Lord regardless of whoever is master over them. However, the Bible lays the foundation for the master or leader to create a healthy work environment for the servants under their leadership. I've never met somebody who served begrudgingly under someone's leadership, when they were kind and respectful, when they were a good communicator, when they themselves treated their employees as a person to be valued instead of something they can provide being valued over them. Even friendship has a biblical foundation. When the Bible talks about iron sharpening iron, which means a friendship should not only be biblically strengthening you, spiritually encouraging you, but it should be mutual, where you're both sharpening one another and not one-sided. Listen, in 1 Corinthians, Paul talks about how when we lay any foundation outside of God's foundation, it will show, because fire tests quality. And the time for testing is at hand. And this is why we're seeing so many cracks in these relationships, even within the own body of Christ. When we go against the grain of the foundation of the relationship, we can't expect the relationship to be full of love and respect and honor. God's firm foundation stands. And everyone who hears these foundations but decide to build with their own, you can rest assured the relationship won't stand. Some people are crying over the cracks from a foundation they laid themselves.